Hi, this video is going to demonstrate the connection between Outlook and EMax CRM. Okay, so in order to demonstrate this, one of the first things I'm going to do is pull an email in from Outlook and show you how that's done. So um, if I choose an email here, now this email actually is from an employee of the company that this system set up as. If I go into HR, you'll see that Emilio is not there. Um, and people is not actually there at the moment. Oh, Emilio is there. I'll just remove that one and show you what happens. Um, there's no actual incoming emails from Emilio there. Okay, so the way that we communicate with CRM system from inside Outlook is by using this category. Outlook has the ability on virtually anything to add categories to it. Some people use them to just control the priority of their emails, or to group them. Um, the reason that we've done that is that we don't really want to mess about with the internal workings of Outlook too much. It's quite a sensitive program, and if we mess about with it, the chances are it might start falling over. So what we've done is we haven't added any functionality to Outlook. We're simply using functionality that exists, and we are monitoring the use of that functionality and extracting data from Outlook based on any settings that you change. So in order to send it to CRM, quite simply, anything that you want to send to CRM, you categorize it as EMax and then the name of the database that you want to send it to. The reason for that is that you may be running multiple companies from the same Outlook. I've got two companies running here, one's Data Origins, one's EMax. I may be running two copies of EMax, two CRMs, two sales ledgers, exactly, for example. So I would have EMax and then the database for my EMax systems, and EMax and the database for Data Origins maybe in there. So you can create these quite easily. You just go into all categories. So if I had another database for Data Origins, I would just basically do that. And that putting that category on anything would send it to a database called Data Origins. This one here is the database that I'm working on, which is EMax Demo. So I'm going to go ahead and categorize that email as that one there. Okay. Now, by clicking that, there is an application sitting running in your system tray called the Outlook EMax Sync, and it watches for that happening and effectively extracts the data from Outlook and sends it to EMax. So in here we should, if I refresh my to-do list, there is that email come in. Okay, and if I open it up, you'll see what it looks like. We have assigned to myself, it's from Emilio, and to myself as well. You the reason that there's a difference between the two and the assigned to is because it may be have been sent to me, but actually I want somebody else to deal with it. And the fact of having to deal with an email is why it comes in as a incomplete. Okay. Because you can't just send it to CRM and then just ignore it. If it goes into your activities, which would end up, you're going to end up with thousands of completed activities in there. It'll just get lost if it goes in there. So incoming emails go in as incomplete. You can quite simply complete it if that's all you need to do with it, or you can do follow-on activities from there. So we can follow on with an outgoing call. Now, one of the things to note actually is that because that was from Emilio, the system actually realized that Emilio was an employee. It does this because of the way emails are sent. Emails from internally are part of Exchange, so It's just one to watch. Is that it will create employees if you receive emails into CRM from an employee, someone within your organisation. It will create an employee. It has to do that to be able to distinguish the email addresses in order to send them, to be able to send emails back to them and such like. Uh, okay, so from in this email, you can then start doing follow up and do outgoing calls, whatever it is that you happen to be doing with it. And obviously, doing a follow up on a task will actually complete that task. Okay, so that's bringing an email in. When you send an email to somebody, uh, it uses Outlook as well. Now that's determined by in your own employee record. You have email and an outgoing and ingoing method. So if Outlook is in there as your outgoing method, then whenever you choose a particular contact to send an email to, it will open up Outlook. And it will only open up Outlook if it's got an email address, which is not on the company because we wanted to maintain it as people based, contact based. So you can only actually send an email to a person. And you'll see that it actually opens up an Outlook box for you to start typing in. You can send emails from directly inside CRM, and it does have an email editor. But obviously, Microsoft have been working on Outlook for decades, and their um, editor, HTML editor, is far superior than anything that we could embed into our system. So, if you have Outlook, you can easily continue to use it. It's certainly the way that I use it. But there is an email editor in there, and which allows you to type, but it's not as shall we say function rich as Outlook. So. Okay, so that is basically the standard way that Outlook communicates with EMax for emails, appointments, and contacts and tasks is basically this category. Um, it's exactly the same if you create an appointment. So if you create it in your phone and it synchronizes up to Outlook, then to get it into CRM, you quite simply categorize that appointment and it will end up in Outlook, in CRM. So you see the categories are there exactly the same. If I do that, save it, just close that, and come in here, we should see in activities that there's that appointment coming through. Okay, so that was it coming back the way from Outlook, and also when you send an email out the way, it will open up Outlook. The same thing will work going the other way for appointments. So I can make an appointment here. Now you see when you make an appointment, it's opened up the Outlook and it's put the category in for me. And quite simply, that's what it does. It basically categorizes all of these items inside Outlook with this format of the name EMax and then the name of the database, and that causes it to synchronize between Outlook and CRM. And you see there's two appointments in there now. So The synchronization between Outlook and CRM is fairly straightforward. There's an add-in that you need to install into Outlook, which will come as a setup program. There's a little application which comes with EMax called the Outlook EMax Sync, which has to be running in order for synchronization to take place. If it's not running, it actually stores up in a queue all the changes that have been happening in between, and then when you run it, it will actually start the synchronization there and then. So don't worry if it's not running. Normally, what we do is we put that in the startup of your menus, so that when your machine starts up, this little application is running. The only setup involved is that when it first starts, it will ask you to choose a folder where the synchronization takes place, and we'll go through that during the setup. But you can change it from in there. Okay. Um, Contacts, same again. Quite simply, pick one. You add that category, it gets sent over. Okay. So fairly straightforward. These you can hide. They are just used as the way Outlook stores its IDs, and you don't actually need to be able to see them, but you can if you really want. But obviously there's no requirement to. Bringing contacts over from Outlook, yeah, you can just categorize them and it will send them over. When you pull an email in from Outlook, it adds the contacts automatically if they don't exist. So, you know, this little button here is the quick link for putting categories on things. So you can actually just go here, set quick click, and set it to the correct category for sending it to CRM, which will then mean that if you simply click that, you see that came across, and there's that email. So setting that up can make it extremely quick. Quite simply clicking on that will bring these emails. Yeah. Now, if you send an email to CRM that has an attachment, it will ask you if you want to save that attachment. Okay. If you choose yes, then the first time you do it, it will ask you where you want your attachments to be saved. Okay. It does not embed them in the database. It saves them on your network somewhere, and then creates a pointer from the record inside CRM to that file. So if I say yes, it what it does is it opens up the location that you have set as your attachment location, and allows you to change the file name, because sometimes people it doesn't mean anything. If somebody sends you a request for a quote for a large project, sometimes it's named doc1 on the email, and you don't want to save it as that. You actually want to save it on your network as proposal for large project from such and such. So that just allows you to save it, to change the file name. If you don't want to change the file name, quite simply just hit save, and that's it in there. Now, emails with attachments, you should see come in as such, and you'll see the attachments is there, and there's the actual attachment that got saved. You can put a description on these. You can hit this button here and it will allow you to put a description on the attachment. You can double click on it and it will actually open that. It's a zip file, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, and you can actually see on the lists as well, there's a tick box similar to what you see on Outlook for has attachments. Okay, so, and you'll see that all these contacts are being brought in automatically. If they do not exist, it will create a contact in your system. So you see pretty quickly you can build up your contacts list. Actually starts to build up if you're sucking emails into here, and it's very straightforward to start pushing these across into CRM by doing that. You can also create a quick button up here to do it. You may see on my system sometimes that I've got a button that says CRM, and quite simply these are just almost like macros that you can name, that gives you a button up the toolbar here, which is basically just say categorize the message to that category. And you'll see I've now got a button that says CRM, which means that if I'm on an email, I can quite simply hit that button and it sends it to CRM. Okay, so fairly straightforward. Anything in Outlook that you want to send to CRM, categorize it, EMax, space, and then the name of the database that it's going to. Yeah, thank you.